Welcome to Amar Rashid online math class. Today we want to discuss change of subject of formula, change of subject of relation. But before ever we continue, we need to understand two things here. One, what do we understand by the word subject in algebra? What do we understand by change of subject? That's the second point. The first point is to understand the meaning of subject, the meaning of subject of a formula. The second point to understand is what do we understand by change of subject of a formula. Don't forget, 1, subject of a formula. 2, change of subject of a formula. Let's see. Now, the first one here, the question reads, make R the subject. Make R the subject. All right. So A says C is equal to 2 pi R. B says S is equal to R over 1 minus R. We want to start with the first one, of course. The A comes before B. It says C is equal to 2 pi R. All right. So let us start with the understanding of the word subject. In school, we have subjects like mathematics. We have physics. We have chemistry. We have geography. We have agriculture. But when it comes to relations or formulae in algebra, subject is different from what we used to understand. Okay. Now, for C is equal to 2 pi R, C and R, they are variables. 2, of course, is a constant. Pi is a constant. That is 22 upon 7. Okay. Now, with C and R being the variables in this particular formula, we can see that R is on the right-hand side, C is on the left-hand side. But the R we have on the right-hand side is not only R we have on the right-hand side. So therefore, R is not the subject of this particular formula. C on the other side, C is standing alone on its side, that is on the left-hand side. So we can conclude that currently C is the subject of this relation. C is the subject of this formula. So because of that, we can say C is the subject. Okay. Now, having understood the meaning of the word subject in algebra or in relations or in formulae, now we can go to the meaning of the statement change of subject of formula. Okay. Now, C as the current subject. Suppose you are asked to make R the subject. This one is telling you that you need to rearrange this formula. You need to rearrange this relation so that R becomes the new subject. So making R the new subject means R is supposed to stand alone on one side. It could be on the right-hand side, it could be on the left-hand side. The most important thing is, if we are to make R the subject, it simply means we must rearrange this formula, this relation, wherein R must stand alone on one side. Now we continue. If we are fortunate enough to have two sides, yes, we have the left, we have the right. We have the left-hand side, we have the right-hand side. And we are to make what? R the subject. But when you consider 2 pi and R, all of them constitute one term. And making R the subject, we simply divide both sides. We simply divide both sides by 2 pi. We divide here by 2 pi. Just like when you have 2x is equal to 3. Then you want to find the value of x. Ask yourself, now I want to find the value of x. What is actually standing by x? Definitely it is 2. So we use 2 to divide both sides. By so doing, you have your x. So if we want to find here again, we want to make R the subject. It simply means find the value of R. Okay. Now, R is standing with what? 2 pi. So we divide both sides by 2 pi. This is 2 pi. So 2 pi takes away 2 pi, leaving R alone. So here is C over 2 pi. So as it stands now, you can see R is standing alone without even a coefficient of more than 1, without a power, without a root. So therefore, we've made what? R the subject of this particular formula. Now, we go to the second problem here, B. We have S is equal to R divided by 1 minus r. We want to make r the subject. Ask yourself first, what is currently the subject of this formula? The subject of this formula is not r. The subject of this formula is s, because 1, s is without a coefficient other than 1, without a power other than 1. Then the second point is s is only standing alone on its side. S is on the left hand side, no other value, no other variable, no other constant, nothing else other than s on the left hand side. So we can say what? S is currently the subject of this formula. So now we want to make r the subject. So what do? We can simply give this s 1. We can give s a denominator of 1. Remember, every value has naturally a denominator of 1. So we can see one term on the left hand side, one term on the right hand side. So if we cross multiply, what do we have? We can say 1 times r, we have this r. 1 times r is r. Then s multiplied by this is s multiplied by 1 minus r. So we have these points to note very well. We actually want to make r the subject. We want r to stand alone on its side. So as at this point, it seems like r is already the subject. No. When you make a variable the subject, that variable must stand alone on one side. And r is standing alone on the left hand side. But there is also another r on the right hand side. When this one happens, it tells you that r is not yet the subject, because there is also another r on the other side. So what do? Now we say r is equal to s multiplied by 1 is s, minus s multiplied by r is rs. We want to make r the subject. So we collect all the terms containing r. This is one of the terms that contains r. Here is another term that contains r. So what do? We move this one to the left hand side. So when this one comes, the sign changes to the opposite side. This minus becomes plus. So what remains on the right hand side is s. Okay, don't forget, we are making r the subject. We are rearranging the formula so that r would stand alone on its side. So there are 2 terms containing r. So what do? We factor r. So r is common. So r into r how many times? 1. R takes away r, that will remain s. So this is equal to s. Okay. So yes, r is on the left hand side, but yet it has not it is not standing alone. R is not standing alone on the left hand side. It is attached with what? A bracket. So we divide both sides by that particular bracket. 1 plus s, 1 plus s. So 1 plus s takes away 1 plus s. So leaving what? R alone. So this is s divided by 1 plus s. So at this point now we've made r the subject. On the right hand side there is no r. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to share and like the video. Bye bye.